Hello, all dear students. I am Mrs. Kiran Yogesh Bokre, working as assistant professor in Department of Chemistry at Sinhagad College of Pharmacy, Vadgaon, Pune, hereby delivering you a session on a topic synthesis and biological importance of 5-hydroxytryptamine, melatonin, dopamine, epinephrine and norepinephrine. So in this today's session, we're going to learn about the topics synthesis of serotonin, biological significance of serotonin, then synthesis of melatonin, biological significance or biological functions of melatonin, then biosynthesis of catecholamines, biological significance of catecholamines and related disorders, then degradation of heme and hyperbilirubinemia and jaundice. First of all, introduction about the tryptophan. Tryptophan is an aromatic amino acid which contains a indole ring, which is also known as alpha amino beta indole propionic acid. Then it is a neutral amino acid. Firstly, it is identified as an essential amino acid. Then it acts as a both glucogenic and ketogenic amino acid. Then there are some biologically important compounds derived from the tryptophan, like so many proteins, glucose, fat, NAD+, NADP+, serotonin, melatonin-like molecules are derived from the metabolism of tryptophan. Then serotonin pathway. We'll see the serotonin pathway. Serotonin or 5-hydroxytryptamine 5-HT. It is a neurotransmitter. Normally about 1% of the tryptophan is converted to serotonin. It is widely distributed in our body. In mammals, the largest amount is synthesized in the intestinal cells. The formation of serotonin is comparable with the production of catecholamines. So this is overview of serotonin pathway, where the tryptophan, when undergoes catalyzation by the enzyme tryptophan hydroxylase, then there occurs a formation of compound 5-hydroxytryptophan, and this step requires H4-biopterin, that is tetrahydrobiopterin, as a cofactor. Then 5-hydroxybiopterin is again converted into 5-hydroxytryptamine or serotonin by the process of decarboxylation or the removal of CO2. Then again the serotonin undergoes the reaction catalyzed by the enzyme acetyltransferase to give the compound N-acetylserotonin, and this N-acetylserotonin gets converted into the N-acetyl-5-methoxyserotonin, or you can say melatonin, in presence of the enzyme methyltransferases, whereas the 5-adenosyl homocysteine acts as a molecule to provide the methyl group in this step, and this process occurs inside the pineal gland, where this 5-hydroxytryptamine with the help of the enzyme MAO, or you can say monoamino oxidase, gets converted into the compound like 5-hydroxy indoacetic acid, which is excreted through the urine. So this is about the serotonin in general pathway. Then we'll see in case of a structures like tryptophan is converted into the compound 5-hydroxytryptamine in presence of the enzyme tryptophan hydroxylase, which requires the enzyme H4-biopterin, or you can say tetrahydrobiopterin, as a cofactor. Then it is converted into the compound serotonin. 5-hydroxytryptamine is converted into the compound serotonin in presence of aromatic amino acid decarboxylase, which is PLP dependent step, removal of CO2 going to takes place, where the formation of serotonin occurs, and this serotonin then again converted into the melatonin with the help of the enzyme methyl CoS transferases, and in this step the methyl group is introduced in the structure. So in this way the formation of the serotonin and melatonin takes place with the help of the compound tryptophan. Then functions of serotonin. Serotonin acts as an excitatory neurotransmitter in brain, acts as an antidepressant. Then it is closely involved in the regulation of cerebral activity like excitation. It is a potent vasoconstrictor and cause smooth muscle contraction in bronchioles and arterioles. It enhances the platelet aggregation. Then it causes peristalsis, peptide hormone release in GIT. Then serotonin controls the behavioral patterns, sleep, blood pressure and body temperature. Then this is in general overview, as we had seen how tryptophan is converted into the serotonin. Then we'll see about the melatonin. It is a hormone produced by the pineal gland. Synthesis is regulated by light-dark cycle. Also functions as a neurotransmitter. Then modulates the cardiac rhythm, or you can say cardian rhythm. Then this is also responsible for the sleep-wake cycle. Then regulates reproductive function. Then blocks the function of melanocyte secreting hormone as well as adrenocorticotype hormone actions. Then adrenocorticotropic hormone actions. Then which in turn secreted by the tryptophan. Then this is nothing but the pathway from the serotonin. We had seen by the process of acetylation it is converted into N-acetyl serotonin, which in turn undergoes the process of methylation to form the compound melatonin. Then introduction. This is nothing but the catechol nucleus, which is dihydroxyphenol derivative, or here you can say in the phenyl ring there is attachment of 2 OH group, and this is a catechol nucleus, and when amine group is going to attach to this compound or this structure, it is known as a catecholamines. The catecholamines are the epinephrine or adrenaline, then norepinephrine or noradrenaline, then dopamine, and they are found within the CNS, then PNS and adrenal glands. Then we'll see about the biosynthesis of catecholamines. This is a diagrammatic representation of how the biosynthesis of catecholamines takes place. So here tyrosine, or you can see L-tyrosine, undergoes the process of catalyzation by in presence of enzyme tyrosine hydroxylase to form the compound DOPA. Here the cofactor required is nothing but the tetrahydrobiopterin derived from the dihydrobiopterin, and this DOPA undergoes DOPA decarboxylase catalyzation by the removal of CO2 to form the compound dopamine. So this is our first catecholamine synthesized from the tyrosine, and then this dopamine undergoes dopamine B oxidase enzyme catalyzation in presence of a molecular oxygen and vitamin C. It will going to give you a compound norepinephrine, and this norepinephrine our second catecholamine, and this from the norepinephrine will get the compound epinephrine, and this reaction is catalyzed by the enzyme phenylethanolamine N-methyl transferase, and this final step methylation of non-epinephrine by S-adenosyl methionine gives epinephrine. The difference between the epinephrine and norepinephrine is only a methyl group, that here we can see there is a methyl group and here there is a no methyl group. This is a difference between the norepinephrine and epinephrine. So this is how from tyrosine DOPA is from DOPA dopamine is from dopamine non-epinephrine is from, and from norepinephrine epinephrine is formed. So here we'll see once again tyrosine is hydroxylated to 3,4-dihydroxyphenylalanine DOPA by tyrosine hydroxylase. This enzyme catalyzes the rate limiting reaction and requires tetrahydrobiopterin as a coenzyme. Then in contrast to this stage, tyrosine present melanocyte converts tyrosine to DOPA. Hence two different enzymes system exists to convert tyrosine to DOPA. Then DOPA undergoes PLP dependent decarboxylation to give dopamine, which in turn hydroxylated to produce norepinephrine here. And then this norepinephrine undergoes methylation by S-adenosyl methionine, which gives epinephrine, and the only difference between these two compounds is the methyl group in their structure. Then these are nothing but all the steps which we had gone through just one by one in detail. Then we'll see the functions of catecholamines. Non-epinephrine and epinephrine regulates carbohydrate and lipid metabolisms. They stimulate the degradation of triglycerol and glycogen. They causes an increase in the BP. Dopamine and non-epinephrine serve as a neurotransmitter in the brain and autonomous nervous system. Then we'll see about the disorders related to these catecholamines. First is the dopamine and Parkinson's disease. Parkinson's disease is described as a shaking palsy and characterized by muscular rigidity, tremors, expressionless face, lethargy, involuntary movements, etc. commonly occurs in the elderly people. It is linked with the decreased production of dopamine. The disease is due to the degradation of dopamine. The disease is due to the degradation of certain parts of the brain, leading to the impairment in the synthesis of dopamine. So treatment, generally dopamine cannot enter the brain, hence it is administration is no of use. So dopa is used in the treatment of this disease, and administration of dopa analogs are also found to be effective. Then catabolism of heme and bilirubin products. The end product of heme catabolism are bile pigments, bilirubin and biliverdin. The cellular site of heme catabolism is macrophages of reticuloendothelial system. In a normal healthy ideal body, 6 grams of heme breaks down per day, from which 250 mg of the bilirubin is formed. Here we can see from hemoglobin, by the removal of protein globin, there is formation of heme, which undergoes the catalyzation by heme oxygenase to form a compound biliverdin alpha 8, which undergoes further catalysis by the enzyme biliverdin reductase to form the bilirubin, which is water insoluble, and then via blood it goes into the liver, which is converted into the bilirubin diglucuronide, which under entering into the intestine gets converted into the urobilinogen, which is formed by the bacteria, and then it is excreted in the feces in the form of steroclobilin, and this intestine urobilin, when via blood undergoes to the kidney, and kidney it is urobilin is excreted in the form of urine. Then this is nothing but the heme degradation and biliverdin product formation flowchart. A molecule of hemoglobin loses its protein part as a globin in the blood cells. This creates a separate heme molecule, and the enzyme heme oxygenase removes a molecule of CO in presence of oxygen from heme. This gives a new compound biliverdin. Here we can see this compound bilirubin 1H alpha. So this is a compound bilirubin 1H alpha, and this further undergoes all the step of reaction which we had seen earlier to give finally the compound bilirubin diglucuronate. So this is how the degradation of heme generally takes place. This is the structural representation of all the degradation of heme which we had seen in the previous flow chart. Then hyperbilirubinemia or jaundice. The excessive hemolysis gives rise to excessive production of bilirubin. This causes excessive level of bilirubin in the blood, giving the skin, urine, mucous membrane and a yellow coloration of scleria of eyes, a condition known as a jaundice. Excessive level of bilirubin in the blood is a pathological condition called as a hyperbilirubinemia. Especially in newborn babies are not able to get rid of bilirubin, and it can build up in the blood and other tissues and the body fluid. So this is nothing about the jaundice and hyperbilirubinemia, which generally gives rise to because of the excessive production of bilirubin. So here we can see the excess of hemolysis is going to cause excess production of bilirubin, which in turn cause jaundice, which causes excess load of bilirubin and which going to hamper your liver as liver damage takes place and bile duct obstruction. So here are some examples. Hyperbilirubinemia can be caused by increased bilirubin production, decreased uptake of bilirubin in liver cells, and there are some example of diseases like hemolytic jaundice, then Gilbert's diseases, physiological